Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back. Well, today I thought I'd show you how to set up your mesh between your spur gear and your pinion gear. It's very important that you do this correctly. Otherwise, if the pinion gear is too tight against the spur, it can actually cause too much friction for forward movement, which is going to actually cause your engine to overheat pretty quick, which can burn out your engine. If it's too loose, it's going to rip apart your spur gear. So you got to make sure that the pinion and the spur are meshed properly, so you get the longest life out of it and best power without things self-destructing. Okay, so first thing we need to do, take off our wheel. Now you're going to need to remove your side cover. Okay. Next, you're going to need to loosen off your motor. Now, I do have a bit of an oversized pinion in here because I wanted to get more speed out of this car. So I put in a higher tooth pinion gear, so I don't have a lot of space to play with, which is fine. Now, you're going to need a piece of paper. If it's really thin stuff like this, you just fold it in half. You could probably get away with a single side of a thicker sheet, but this is super thin paper, so I decided I'm going to fold it in half. But a lot of guys will even fold in half a regular thickness of sheet paper as well. Now, because we got a larger gear here, we're going to have to actually feed this in, like so. And then you're going to want to push the motor, as soon as you get everything to rock into place, push it up tight against the spur. Then you're going to want to snug up your top screw. And we'll snug up the bottom screw. Make sure you hold that motor in firm. And then just back roll it out. And you should get a pattern like this. Okay? So just to ensure that your screws are definitely tight, you don't want these to work loose when you're driving. Okay, and it should move nicely like that. To check how much space you do have, you can put a flashlight on it, and you should have just a little bit of space. Your teeth shouldn't quite bottom into it. Okay, and then you know you've got that set right. You can also go by feel too. Make sure your alignment too is as close as you can get it to being with your pinion gear being centered with your spur. Now, just a little bit of extra. When your adjuster for your spur or slipper clutch is actually tight, this is going to allow you to have a looser rear end on takeoff, which means all your power is going to hit the rear end and you're going to be able to spin your tires out, okay? Before it's going to hit traction. So you're going to lose traction this way. But if you loosen it off a little bit, it allows the clutch to slip so you can have a smoother takeoff with more traction, and then you'll gain your speed afterwards. So it's on how you want to set things up, you know, whether you're bashing, racing, whatever type of thing, or even just personal preference. I actually like mine set a little tighter so that I can, you know, take off but also spin my tires. So anyway, so the next thing you gotta do, of course, is put everything back together. Now pretty much all RC cars are going to be set up for doing the meshing the exact same way. The difference is going to be is that the location of your motor and your spur. This particular car, everything's in the back, and you'll find that as well on the Traxxas Stampede, as well as the Gravedigger and many other vehicles, even non-Traxxas branded vehicles will be set up like that, like this. Other ones like your Slash and many other brands out there, your motor and your spur are in a different position, laying down, whatever, but the principle is all the same for getting your spur gear and your pinion gear to mesh properly. And just snug up the screws. And back on with the tire. Now, you can go by feel. That's actually a good mesh. The car is able to roll fairly easily. If it starts going chunk, 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 chunk when you're trying to make it roll, then you got your mesh too tight. And if your mesh is too loose, of course, you're going to strip your spur gear out pretty quick. So that's how she's done, start to finish. Now we're ready to go out and drive. Now the other advantage too of having this set up properly is you're not going to overheat your motor because it's not going to be dragging the car, you know. You're going to have a proper mesh setup, then you're going to have better takeoffs, better responses, etc. And of course lower engine temperatures. So very, very important to make sure that that mesh is set up properly. So, and you'll know because of the type of pattern that you'll get on the paper. You'll get these sort of patterns showing up, and that means you did your job right. Anyways, that's it, and thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next video.